welcome to the episode of Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition.
Right.
Hello.
So I know this is a total different game, but this is the next thing that we recorded. So I was talking about RWBY and relationships and how the creators were like, yeah, they're going to allow, eventually when the characters get older, when the characters get older, they're eventually going to have like different relationships. So there's going to be like bi, there's going to be gay, there's going to be straight, there's just all the different types of relationships out there, all the characters can have. So a lot of people start to think that are like, people were at least thinking at one point that it was going to be Black Sun, like Blake and Sun Wukong, because for like a whole volume they were together doing stuff on an island.
Yeah,
and
they had a lot of
yeah, and there was always like that like moments that they had, like those cute moments. But I think the creators saw that there were more Yang and Blake fans, possibly, because what happened in from volume 6 on is literally what happens. Spoilers, by the way, if you haven't watched it. After they're all done, Sun goes back to his group, and we don't see him again at all. Like, volume 6 is ended, and you haven't seen him after the first episode. The first episode, him and Blake part ways because they're both going to different places, and they're like, and Blake, Sun, which I love Sun. I freaking love Sun. He's super cool. I love the guy. He's like, well, you don't need me anymore. And she's like, well, don't say that. It sounds like it's so sad. And he's like, well, you'll see me again, I'm sure. And then he just leaves after that, and like supposedly goes and has his own adventures and stuff. Whatever. You never find that again. But then, well, at this point, Blake is 18. By volume 6, Yang is the oldest, and she's 19. And I believe Blake is only a year or two, like half a year. So yeah, no, Blake is 18 at that point. Plus Sun, I think, is like the same age. Sun's the same age, dude.
Also plus the actors for...
Yeah, RWBY's actually 17 by the time of volume 6, I believe.
Yang and Blake actors are very good.
Are you serious?
Yeah. You
did not. No, I didn't know that. That actually makes way too much sense now. That's probably exactly why they're going to do it. So the voice actors for Yang and Blake are actually married in real life.
Yes.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. Anyway, whatever you call it. Anyway. Whatever. Anyway, my point being, I just, in volume 6, they literally do a whole fight. They do everything, and volume 6 is fucking depressing as hell. Like, almost as depressing as volume 3. I guess I should say that. Yeah, volume 3, after you finish watching volume 3, you're gonna be like the most sad you could ever be in your life. But then you go to volume 4 and 5, and you're like, okay, that's cool. And then volume 6 rolls around, and you're like, well, fuck me. I don't know how to feel about this, because now I'm sad again, but a lot of cool stuff happened. Anyway, but no, volume 6 did something really awesome. They had the Yang and Blake combined fight against Adam, and that was really sweet and cute, and they kind of made reference to them actually possibly being shipped, and that's probably what might eventually happen. In fact, I hope that's exactly what happens, because I would love for that to finally be canon. Like, I couldn't care less about Weiss and RWBY. I love them. Don't get me wrong. RWBY literally is like excellent, but always happy.
Weiss is always like
Weiss is
getting
like
captured or something.
Weiss is just like, I don't know. Weiss has a cool semblance. I'll give her that. She has like a really cool semblance. She summons whatever she wants. Right. Well, she doesn't just summon at night. Remember, she can summon the flying Grim.
And by the time
she gets those powers,
she is ready to like break out of cage and all that. Here comes Yang.
Yeah, Yang's just like, Weiss? Yang? That's my mom. Oh, your mom kidnapped me? You kidnapped her? Just everything that happens so fast, and she's like, well, I guess the stealth route's out, and she just scraps. Raven's like, mayhaps. Possibly. I love Raven. Raven's so cool. And then like, oh, here's another thing. You don't see her in any of Volume 6 either, by the way. Volume 6 is like, it's almost like okay, so you know how I'm looking at it? I think every third volume is just going to be almost as depressing as they can make it. Because literally, Volume 3 is just, it starts out sweet and cool because they're having a tournament, everything's awesome, you see RWBY and all them fight, and then like halfway through it, it gets super depressing because Yang is framed for breaking a dude's legs and is kicked out of the tournament and all this stuff. Yeah. Even though he doesn't really have legs, his legs were broken off already by his dad because he was a raised monster, douchebag, whatever. But yeah, like, Volume 3 is, like, extremely sad and depressing at the end. And then Volume 6, it's depressing by, like, the second episode. Because you learn something about the second episode. And it's just, like, okay, what is supposed to happen next? There's, like, no way out of this. And then the whole rest of the series, like, the whole rest of Volume 6 is okay and fun, and the ending is really freaking cool. But they don't resolve the main situation by the end of Volume 6. Like, Volume 7, I guess, I'm hoping that they're going to finally figure out how to resolve the main conflict. But Volume 6, it's just left with, okay, we have this huge evil that we're fighting, and, you know... Okay, I'm just going to say spoilers here.
Yeah.
Spoilers for RWBY Volume 6. This is why it's depressing. By episode 2 of Volume 6, you learn that Salem, the main big bad evil, or maybe it's not even episode 2. It's actually episode 3. Episode 3 is when it happens. By episode 3, you find out that Salem, the big bad evil, witch, whatever, monster, is completely unkillable in almost every sense of the word. Like, she is completely unkillable. There is no way to kill her, and here's the thing. Everyone, you know how, okay, so Ozpin, wait, what?
Yeah, I think...
No, her and Ozpin were lovers.
Yeah.
But then, she dipped herself into the evil vat of, like, okay, so originally at the time when humanity was first alive, humanity had complete control over magic, bestowed by the gods, and the god of darkness and the god of light lived among them in their own little places, and you could go to those places. And so, I'm not going to explain the thing, I'm just going to let y'all watch it, but basically, a whole lot of shit goes down, the gods leave, take away magic, all that kind of crap. Salem is now immortal and evil. Ozpin, who was dead at this point, gets resurrected by the god of life, or god of light. And he basically tells him, hey, every time you'll die, you'll be reincarnated and move into another soul. Like, and that's just what happens. Ozpin does that every single time. He reincarnates every time he dies. So, here's the thing. Ozpin is like the expected mentor dude to show them and teach them how to fight Salem and how to kill them. He thought that the key was to get those, the four relics, you know, the things that determine, like, knowledge, creation, destruction, choice, those before, I believe.
Yes.
So, hey, you think that putting all those together would kill Salem or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not at all. That's not it at all. So, the relic of knowledge actually allows you to ask things. Ask 3 questions. And Ozpin used used all 3 questions well over a couple hundred years ago. One of the questions he asked was, how do you defeat or how do you stop Salem? And the lamp straight up told him, you don't. There is no stopping Salem. And they don't ever find a way to stop her. Like, in all of Volume 6, they're literally depressed and just like, we don't know how to stop Salem. What are we supposed to do? And they're like, we gotta keep going to Atlas. And it's like, but why? And they're like, we gotta get the relic there, but why? None of it's gonna matter because we can't defeat Salem. And they never find out how to defeat Salem. In fact, there's literally a whole episode where these Grimm have the ability to influence their, like, everyone's kind of like nature, or like make them all feel like life is pointless. Like, these Grimm literally give clinical depression to other people. And when they're in mass, they like extremely get it even more, like give even more of it. So yeah, there's literally a point where all the characters of RWBY are all just like, what's the point? We don't do this. Eventually they beat the Grimms and they get back to normal and they're like, of course there's a purpose for all this, but I'm like, but as an audience member, I'm still just like looking at it like, well, obviously I'm gonna keep watching because I want to find out how they beat Salem. But I'm like, at this point, I'm like, how do they defeat Salem? There's nothing.
Why?
The one thing that told them how to, the one thing that could tell them how to beat Salem, can't tell them because it believes that there is no way to beat Salem. So it's like, well, what do you do? So now I have to wait till Volume 6 to come, Volume 7 to come out, so we can hopefully find out how to kill Salem.
Why isn't my depression effect working on you? That's my secret. I'm always depressed.
That's amazing. I knew you were going there, and I've never heard that before, but I knew you were going to go there. Don't! Don't!
What the crap?
You gotta press the X button.
Josh.
I am.
And up, not down. Press the same time.
I'm doing that.
Are you? And you do not drop. Jump again. Anyway, but yeah, that's my whole take on RWBY because I love everything about it. I'm actually making a 3D model of RWBY OC right now. I at least got the main body done. I have to go in and actually make the details and stuff.
Like Ozpin is singing Oscar's fantasies about RWBY.
Oh yes, I remember sending you. Did I send you that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like literally Oscar and freaking Ozpin's inside Oscar's mind, and all the things that are about, like the only things that are in Oscar's mind are just lewd pictures of RWBY.
This was a mistake.
This might have been a mistake. He's like, sure, I'll inhabit a 14, 15-year-old boy.
Who hasn't hit puberty yet?
No, who just hit puberty and only has one thing on his mind, and then meets a cute girl who's always making him happy. Sure, that can't go wrong. And then immediately on the inside, it's just him huddled in a corner and a million pictures or posters in Oscar's mind of just RWBY in different outfits.
Honestly, I
thought it was hilarious and sweet.
RWBY
Well,
and
I thought it was
Oscar
sweet just because I was like, aw, Oscar has a crush.
together. Honestly, RWBY and Oscar have the most chance of getting.
Probably, yeah. People also really,
people.
There's a lot.
White Oru.
I was gonna say a lot of people actually kind of really like White Rose. A lot of people like White Rose. So I don't know.
I do not. I don't like it.
I'm okay with it, just because I think like it would be cute how it ended up. But I would also really like to see Oscar and RWBY. But also, I'm kind of like, how does that work? Because Ozpin's in there. Well, eventually, supposedly, if they find a way to stop Salem, hopefully that means, I believe that means Ozpin gets to move on.
Will finally die, move out of Oscar. Wham bam.
Dude, it's depressing when you find out how, we should probably end the episode here.
Bye!
Bye!
Sorry for spoiling.
I gave spoiler alerts, okay?
Wait.
Put it in the title.
Let me finish
Fine.
investigating.
I'll put Volume 6 spoiler alerts for RWBY.
Yeah.
I'll put that in the title, okay? So no one has any right to say anything otherwise.
Alright. Everybody. Alright, everybody. We're
Did you end it?
No, we're not ended yet. I'm just saying bye-bye. So how you doing?